Welcome to this presentation about the changes that are being made to the Barclays Bank of Kenya Limited Staff Retirement Benefits DC Scheme 2009. As part of our commitment to have a compelling employee proposition, Barclays regularly reviews its benefits package, including pension, to ensure it remains appropriate and competitive. We have worked closely with the trustees, the management at Country and BA, and the Joint Works Council. As a result, Barclays has concluded that changes are needed for a number of reasons. First, the changes are being made to enhance our employee value proposition by enhancing employer contribution. Second, the current contribution structure of the fund is not aligned to market practice in Kenya. The matched and tiered contribution structure means that employees cannot all access the same level of pension contributions from Barclays. And finally, most comparable pension schemes in Kenya are mandatory rather than voluntary, both in terms of joining and making contributions. The voluntary nature of the scheme does not foster a saving culture, which could lead to some employees not saving as much as they need to for their retirement. So what are the changes being made? The changes affect you. The name of the scheme, the contributions made by both you and Barclays, and the definition of pensionable salary. Let's look at each of these in more detail. The first change is to the name of the scheme. At present, the scheme is called the Barclays Bank of Kenya Limited Staff Retirement Benefits DC Scheme 2009. With effect from 1st August 2013, the name of the scheme will change to Barclays Bank of Kenya Limited DC Scheme. Changing the name of the scheme does not affect members or benefits from the scheme. The next change concerns the contributions that you and Barclays make. At present, the contribution structure provides a core contribution of 4% of your pensionable salary each year, less the bank's NSSF contribution, regardless of whether you choose to contribute. Plus, if you do choose to contribute, these extra contributions are matched by Barclays, but the amount of the match depends on which age band you fall into. Let me put that into context with an example. Let's take a 33-year-old who decides to pay 3%. In addition to the core contribution of 4%, Barclays will also match the 3% contribution with an additional 3%, giving a total contribution from Barclays of 7%. Now let's assume we have an employee who is 46 and contributes 3%. In addition to the core contribution of 4%, Barclays will match your 3% contribution with an additional 6%, giving a total contribution of 10% from Barclays. This complicated structure is now being simplified, and from 1st August 2013, all employees will receive the same contribution from Barclays regardless of their age. The new employee contribution rate will be 5% of pensionable salary each year, and in return, Barclays will provide the new employer contribution rate of 10% of your pensionable salary each year, less the bank's NSSF contribution. From 1st August, Barclays will contribute 10% of basic salary as pension for all employees, irrespective of age. From 1st August 2013, new joiners eligible for membership into the scheme will contribute 5%. If you are currently contributing 5% or more, your contribution rate will not need to change. However, it is important to remember that if your pensionable salary is due to increase as a result of the change in the definition of pensionable salary, the amount of your contribution will increase. If you are contributing more than 5%, You may wish to review the level of your contribution rate subject to the new minimum rate of 5%. However, if you are currently contributing less than 5%, your contribution rate will increase to 5%. If your contribution rate to the fund needs to increase, this increase will be phased in gradually over 12 months with a maximum increase of 2.5% in each phase starting 1st September 2013. If you are aged over 45 years, currently have a pensionable salary definition of 100% of your basic salary, and you are contributing the current maximum of 4%, you will currently be receiving an employer contribution rate of 12%. From August 2013, Barclays contribution rate will reduce from 12% to 10%, and as your definition of pensionable salary is not changing, the amount you receive from Barclays going forward will reduce. If this applies to you, Barclays will confirm this to you in writing, and you will receive a one-off cash lump sum of 6% of your annual basic salary to assist in transition to the new employer contribution rate. You can choose whether to invest this one-off contribution in the scheme, possibly tax efficiently if you have not used up your allowance, or you can take the lump sum as cash. If you take the lump sum as cash, it will be subject to normal deductions for tax. The next change being made relates to the definition of pensionable salary. This is important since the contributions made by Barclays and you are defined as a percentage of your pensionable salary. Currently, pensionable salary is defined as a percentage of your basic salary, excluding any allowances or fluctuating emoluments you may receive. The percentage is dependent upon your grade and ranges from 60% of basic salary for grades of Vice President and above to 100% of basic salary for grades non-clerical to BA2. For example, a BA4 who earns 2 million shillings a year as basic salary would have a pensionable salary equivalent to 70% of their basic salary or 1,400,000 shillings a year. Whereas a BA1 earning 670,000 shillings a year would have a definition of pensionable salary of 100% of their basic salary, which is 670,000 shillings a year. Going forward, from 1st August 2013, the definition of pensionable salary is being harmonized so that all employees, regardless of grade, will have a definition of pensionable salary of 100% of their basic salary. The new definition of pensionable salary will continue to exclude any allowances or fluctuating emoluments you receive, as is currently the case. Hopefully, this presentation, together with the newsletter you have already received, has given you a good understanding of the changes being introduced from 1st August 2013. The next steps are that you will be receiving an updated booklet in July, which will give you full details about the scheme's new benefit structure. You will also receive a contribution form. If your contribution to the fund needs to increase and you want this increase to be phased, you do not need to take any further action, as this will happen automatically. However, if your contributions need to increase to 5% and you would like to increase to this level from August 2013 or September 2013, or if you would like to contribute AVCs or review your AVCs as a result of the change in definition of pensionable salary, or if you are eligible for the one-off cash lump sum and you want to direct this to your pension, you will need to complete and return the contribution form. Finally, it's important to Barclays that all employees understand the benefits provided by the pension scheme. Going forward, we are looking at ways of improving the information you receive with a view to creating a sustainable communications program about pensions. This presentation has given you more detail and insight into the changes being made. If after this presentation you have any questions, you can either look at the question and answer document that has been produced and can be found in the HR shared folder, or if your questions are not in the question and answer document, you can email your questions to the HR help desk using the email addresses shown on screen. We will arrange to answer your question and will also include the question in the question and answer document for all colleagues. That's the end of the presentation, and I would like to thank you for taking the time to understand the changes being made to your pension scheme.